It's great to see everybody here this morning. Good morning and welcome to the 2023 Catholic Foundation Spring Grant Ceremony. I'm Matt Kramer, I'm President and CEO of the Catholic Foundation. We're really pleased to be here at St. Cecilia's Catholic School and thank both the pastoral and academic team for their hospitality. Let me first introduce Father Cruz Calderon, pastor of St. Cecilia Catholic Church, who will offer our invitation. Father Cruz. Father Cruz is not here, so Father Ignacio.
First of all, welcome everyone to St. Cecilia Catholic School and Catholic Parish. I am Father Ignacio, parochial vicar here at St. Cecilia. Welcome. And we start our events of the Catholic Foundation grants in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear gracious God, we give you thanks for the generosity that you have with us in every way, especially today as we have this ceremony of the Catholic Foundation grants. And I pray for all the donors, all the benefactors of the Catholic Foundation, that the Lord may grant them twofold, threefold, 100-fold as He wishes for their generosity to this charitable organization. I also pray for all the recipients here present, for the schools, for the churches, the non-profit organizations, and all the people that are going to benefit from these generous donations. I pray that in this way we may continue building up the kingdom of God here in the Diocese of Dallas and beyond. And I pray for all of you here present and for the people that you will take care. I pray all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Ignacio. Let me now introduce Lydia Torres, the principal of St. Cecilia Catholic School. Lydia.
Welcome, bienvenidos. We are so very happy and so very proud to have you here for the Catholic Foundation Grant Ceremony. My name is Lydia Torres and I serve as the principal of St. Cecilia School. I went to school here. I sat in those bleachers. I walked through these hallways 100 years ago, but doesn't that speak to the foundation that was created in this community back in 1935? No, it was 1935. To my right is Estela Valdez, assistant principal, and to her right is our instructional coach, Dr. Diana Torres Rivera. We are so happy because, like all of you in this community right now, it does take a village. And we have a very strong administration that believes in our mission to create an environment of joy, to nurture a child's curiosity, and to stop for prayerful pauses. That is our mission of creating saints and scholars here at St. Cecilia School. We've gone from 144 students just 3 years ago to 190 students, and we're not stopping. So, yes. It's been a lot of work, from very committed teachers to involved parents to students who want to learn. So we offer you our warm hospitality, our gratitude for you being here. Thank you for the support of the Catholic Foundation. There are so many things around this building and books on the shelves and programs in place because of the Catholic Foundation, and we can't do it without our partners. So thank you again for being here, and it is our honor. And I know that there are other wonderful schools that haven't been visited yet that I encourage you to talk to principals present in the building right now who are eager to open their doors and have you with them too for the grant ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia, for opening your school to us today. I'd like to thank all our trustees, many of whom are here today, for the role they provide in helping select grant recipients. I'd also like to thank our former trustees, our current advisory council members, and our foundation staff, with a special recognition to Ann Latier. She's our program director, and Ann interacts closely with our grant seekers and recipients. One of the most enjoyable things our trustees tell us they do in service to the Catholic Foundation is to interact with grant seekers during site visits as part of the grant evaluation process. Those visits reveal to them inspiring stories of vision, teamwork, perseverance, faith, and hope. Tommy Oxall is one of our amazing trustees and chair of the distribution committee. That committee oversees the review of all grant application requests and makes funding decisions. Please welcome Tom as he shares a few words on behalf of our trustees. Tom?
Thank you guys very much, and thank you to Lydia Torres for having us here today. I was here a year ago, and actually I played basketball in this gym back in the 1980s. Thank you, Father Ignacio, my good friend, for leading us in prayer this morning. And I do want to thank one other person. I'm going to echo what Matt just said about Ann. Ann does an amazing job keeping all of us trustees in line and interacting with you all as we go through the distribution process. So thank you, Ann, for all that you do. I was thinking over here as I was driving with this Easter season, it's all about joy and gratitude. And what a joyful event to be in this beautiful school and to be celebrating the grant distribution process. So on behalf of all of the trustees, I want to thank each one of you here in this room for what you do across the diocese every single day. And this is a huge diocese, and it's just so cool to see the grants that are awarded, because your work is so important to God's work in the diocese. Whether it's church renovations, school renovations, security, Catholic Music Initiative, music ministry, that my wife and I enjoy at SMU every Sunday at 5 o'clock. That music is incredible. STEM, IT, the homeless and the seniors, all benefit from this grant distribution process. And for us as trustees, and I'm looking at some of my trustees here in the room with us, Matt's right. This grant distribution process is the most fulfilling, wonderful experience for being a trustee for the Catholic Foundation. It gives us trustees an opportunity to visit these great, wonderful schools, churches, programs all around the diocese and see the tremendous work that each one of you do. And I can't thank you enough. It's a blessing for us to do this and to be able to share your joy, and especially at these events where we make the grants. So I just want to thank you on behalf of all the trustees. It's a wonderful process. You see, we do the site visits, and we get together, we spend a lot of time talking about the grants. And it's always a very collaborative, joyful process that we go through. So again, thank you, we appreciate you, and just keep doing the great work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And thanks to donors past and present, today we are awarding more than $1.4 million to 30 local Catholic churches and schools, as well as a range of charitable organizations. The grants will support, as Tom just talked about, HVAC repair, tuition assistance, liturgical music, facility renovations of many types, and even a new school band, among other things you'll hear about next from our recipients. The tuition assistance to local Catholic schools helps families who otherwise would not be able to afford a Catholic education for their children. The impact of all these grants today will be felt for decades. Today's grants also go towards the bishop's burse, which our bishop can use at his discretion to assist local charitable organizations. In addition, today's grants assist our foundation's president's discretionary fund that serves local organizations and projects and needs. The Work of Heart Awards that recognize full-time employees at our Dallas area Catholic schools, and a designated high school tuition assistance program for each of our 8 high schools, in which funds go to students whose parents are full-time employees of a Catholic school in the Diocese of Dallas. Today's more than $1.4 million in grants is just a piece of a larger story. Last year, the Catholic Foundation distributed $19.4 million through more than 2,400 grants to 800 organizations. And since our inception, the foundation has provided more than $267 million in grants. The grants we're celebrating today are made from the unrestricted fund, philanthropy fund, and restricted funds of the Catholic Foundation. Individuals or families, named or otherwise, establish restricted funds at the foundation to benefit communities today and for future generations. We're thankful to the families that will be referenced as I introduce our grant recipients. In a moment, I'm going to call on our grant recipients in alphabetical order to share how the grant they are receiving will be used at their organization. We'll then take an individual photo with them, plus the trustees involved in the site visit at that location if they're here this morning. We'll then announce our tuition assistance recipients and have an individual speak on behalf of all those recipients. After we recognize everyone, we'll have a closing prayer and a blessing for our lunch, and we'll take a group photo up here with all the grant recipients, including the tuition assistance recipients, one with Tom and with me. So let's get started. Our first grant recipient is Bishop Lynch High School.
Good morning. I'm Chris Freebuck, the president at Bishop Lynch High School. Bishop Lynch today serves more than 1,000 high school students that receive students from all Catholic elementaries across the entire diocese. Today, 40% of our students, nearly 400 families, receive significant amounts of financial aid in order to make a Catholic education possible. In annual dollars, that equals about $4 million annually in financial aid and scholarship to allow Bishop Lynch to be a place that welcomes diversity across the Metroplex from students from all over our diocese. Today, as I sit here in gratitude for the Catholic Foundation and its donors, I realize what a bridge Bishop Lynch serves as I look around this room and I think about those who are alumni from our high school who have found their place in calling of service to our Lord here in this diocese. Whether it be faculty members across schools in our entire diocese, leaders in those schools, principals who are Bishop Lynch alumni, trustees on this very board who are granting these opportunities for Catholic education and Catholic causes to continue to grow, I realize how critical our mission is. Here, serving this diocese, inspiring in the hearts and minds of young people their call to leadership. And for nearly 60 years now, Bishop Lynch has provided this bridge for young Catholics to hear that call, to know who they are called to become, and to find their place of home, welcome, and service right here in the diocese. The gift that we receive in this grant today will help us with the critical renovation of our Student Center. Three key components to the lifeblood of our school: a cafeteria, a library, and the student commons. Today, we draw students from over 100 zip codes. We bring students from 26 different municipalities outside of the city of Dallas together in one inclusive place where meals, both breakfast and lunch, are included in the cost of education so that every student has an opportunity to learn, not hungry, to be their best self. This renovation for us in our Student Center is the lifeblood of where we invite students to community, to get to know themselves and each other. So on behalf of Bishop Lynch, our board of directors, our faculty and staff, we're very, very grateful to the Catholic Foundation and its donors. And in my final comment, I'd just like to offer a word of sincere gratitude for the foresight and vision of those who believe in the power of endowment. Much of the gifts that we receive here in this room today comes from individuals who realize that gifts that can be made to endowments will live on into perpetuity, giving us what I believe is one of the paths to greatest sustainability for Catholic education and to help Catholic causes. So, on behalf of Bishop Lynch, thank you very much.
Our next grant recipient is Catholic Charities Dallas Brady Center, with funding from the Luis M. Abura Endowment Fund, the Harper Senior Citizen Fund, and the Carlos and Grace DeLee Stubbs Fund.
Well, I'll try to be brief if that way. We are so proud to be here receiving these monies again from the foundation. It's just been a stalwart supporter of Catholic Charities for many, many years now. The Brady Senior Program at the Merrill Life Center is a legacy program for Catholic Charities that we're just very proud to be able to bring seniors who would otherwise be isolated and alone, hungry and cold, potentially not being nourished properly, mentally as well as physically. We can bring them together in congregate settings, give them breakfast and lunch, give them transportation, give them social services, case management, and allow them to participate in community with each other through exercises and all of the like, as well as with other people in our programs. We have transitional foster men in the same building adjacent to it so they can interact with them. And then we have a daycare, actually a Head Start program operated by Charity Care Group next to us where they can interact with the kids as well in kind of a grandparent environment. So we're very, very proud to be able to sustain this program through grants like this and grateful to the Catholic Foundation for the same. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is Catholic Music Initiative with partial funding from the Bernard Bradley Endowment Fund.
Good morning. My name is Nathan Sullivan, and I am the co-founder and director of operations for Catholic Music Initiative. David Warren, Senator Gardens, they would be here along with me had they not been preparing for two conferences we have this weekend here in the area with the rest of our team. On behalf of them and myself and the rest of our team, thank you to the Catholic Foundation, to your trustees, and to the Bernard Bradley Endowment Fund for this grant, which is going to help us complete the remaining 80 psalms that consist of the yearly liturgical cycle in both English and Spanish. These 80 psalms round out the foundation of our initial catalog, which offers mass settings, psalms, hymns, and chants in both English and Spanish, in a variety of settings that can be used from your Sunday liturgies to an Easter Mass with brass and strings, to a school choir, and just a simple retreat where all you have is guitar. CMI was founded on the desire to draw people into encounter with God through music. But even more importantly than that, to help other people do the same. So our goal with CMI is to empower music ministers and their team with the resources they need, the training that they need, and the support that we can offer so that they can redirect their efforts to what drew many of them to ministry in the first place, using the gifts and talents that God has given them to glorify Him. And so once again, thank you for this opportunity, for this grant, for your support, and a special word of thanks to the many volunteers and musicians who make this work a reality. Today we've had over 125 people work on our resources, from videographers to musicians to transcribers to community members, to make the music, the resources, and the videos that you see possible. And a special word of thanks to Ms. Nancy Poinsett, who continues to help us convert our work into something that can be explained in a grant document and understand this grant-making process. So, thank you.
Our next grant recipient is the Catholic Schools Office for the Diocese of Dallas with partial funding from the Joe and Hazel Fechtel Fund.
Good morning. On behalf of the Catholic Schools Office, it's my pleasure to accept this funding award for the Catholic Schools Office educational programs. I extend profound gratitude to the Catholic Foundation and trustees, to Tom and the distribution committee, Matt and your exceptional team, and certainly to the Joe and Hazel Fechtel Fund for making this grant possible for our saints and scholars. The Catholic Schools Office remains committed to excellence. Students in our Catholic schools receive more than an exemplary education. They become part of a community that supports their social, emotional, and moral development. And we are blessed here in this region that has so many institutions from which our students can learn, be inspired, and dream. From the Children's Theater, the Art Museum, the President Bush Library, and the Dallas Arboretum, there are numerous places that we can take our students to broaden their horizons, knowing that there's so much learning, only so much learning, that can take place in a classroom setting. Experiential learning, that is, being able to see, touch, and feel new things, is an integral part of a well-rounded education. However, given limited resources of our Catholic schools and limited finances of many of our families, access to outside of the classroom learning is a challenge. It is thus our desire to provide a broader and more robust learning experience for our Catholic school students, particularly those with limited exposure to educational, arts, and cultural institutions in the North Texas region. We are simply delighted with our Catholic Schools Office to utilize this grant made possible by the Joe and Hazel Fechtel Fund to support the educational and cultural outings for students within our diocesan schools. These funds will provide 2 field trips per school year for students in 14 of our primarily lower income schools across the Diocese of Dallas. And so we thank the Catholic Foundation and the Catholic philanthropic community for making this possible and providing access to more than 1,700 students who will benefit directly from these experiences. So on their behalf, please accept our sincere gratitude and appreciation. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is Holy Family of Nazareth Catholic Church with partial funding from the Osborne Family Endowment.
Good morning. My name is Steve Seitz, and I'm representing Holy Family of Nazareth Catholic Church. About 4 years ago, we began a project to update our aging campus, church, and school, and barely had got it off the ground when COVID hit, which grounded to a screeching halt. People were not able to contribute. We were having a very difficult time raising any funds. We started up again about a year ago in earnest, and one of the largest expenses that we had when we were trying to renovate our parish was the pews. The 30-year-old pews, they're upholstered, and I don't even want to describe the color, because it's not the original color. It's faded, and it just looks awful. But I think the Holy Spirit was leading this morning when I was trying to think of what am I going to say to show my gratitude and our gratitude for this gift, which will help us to purchase new pews. So I went to church with my wife to Mass this morning, and I noticed, as I always do, the shape of the pews, but what really struck me was when my wife reached down to pull the kneeler down and it came apart in her hands. So this grant from the Catholic Foundation and the Osborne Family Endowment is going to go a long way to help us to purchase new pews, and also to help us to spruce up our entire church, because those funds that would have had to go to purchasing the pews can be allocated elsewhere. On behalf of Father Don Casa, Father Joshua, the staff of Holy Family of Nazareth, and our entire parish, I want to give you our gratitude for this gift. It was unexpected, but it will be a lifesaver for us. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is Holy Trinity Seminary with partial funding from the Roper Fund.
Well, good morning, Father Vincent. I'm a rector of Holy Trinity Seminary, and it is a joy to be here to receive this grant from the Catholic Foundation. I don't have to explain to you what Holy Trinity Seminary does. If you think the sacraments of the Church are important, if you like the Eucharist, if you want priests, I'm the guy to talk to. Because that's what I do, is to make sure that you, the families, your children, and grandkids, that they are taken care care of, they receive the spiritual gifts of a sacrament of our church to make sure that the future of our church is ensured. And that's the work of the seminary. And it is truly a joy and a privilege to know that we have the support of the Catholic Foundation, certainly in this case, helping us with partially funding HVAC repair for the seminary, which is important because of the air quality of the men in the house and the health of the men as they prepare and discern the priesthood. And so I do want to thank you, all of you, especially Matt and Tom, and all the team who came out to the seminary to take a look at how this particular equipment that has probably about 15 to 12 years of lifespan, but has been there for 50 years, is about time to change it. I do want to thank you for your support, and just wanted to say, please don't stop.
Our next grant recipient is Immaculate Conception Catholic Church.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Company. We're just from all the way from Corsicana, so we're very happy to be here with you this morning. I really want to thank everybody on behalf of Father Gonzalez, Marine, my pastor at Immaculate Conception, and also all the good people, all the good parishioners of Immaculate Conception down in Corsicana, a little country town. You should come down there and visit with us sometimes. I was thinking on the way up there, I said, well, what do I need to say? First of all, we need to thank God, number one, and then thank the organization, the Catholic Foundation. We're all good Catholic people. We remember what the two greatest commandments were from Almighty God Himself. Love Him with all your heart, mind, and soul. And then the second commandment is just as important to Him, to love one another. And so, as you see, the Catholic Foundation has been in operation now for several years. And look at all the good that has come from this facility of the Catholic Foundation, gathering things together from a lot of other good people who gave their funds and their money and their donations, their time, their talents, to facilitate all the good help that has come about. And here at Immaculate Conception in Corsicana, we've been very fortunate to have a good relationship with the Catholic Community Foundation. And also, this particular grant is going to help us control our facility a little bit better with security. Security is very important nowadays. You see what's happening all over the world and all over the country. And so, this is going to help us tremendously to get on board and get in line where we have a little peace of mind when we go home in the evening of our facility at night. So once again, on behalf of all our parishioners in Corsicana, thank you very much for all your efforts that you give us. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is Notre Dame School of Dallas.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a theme, mission in motion. Notre Dame School, we educate about 143 students ages 6 to 22 and 29 adults ages 22 and older. We teach all the subjects, and there are lots of teachers and schools in the room. What we get to do that's different though is we get to teach all the subjects in the schoolhouse and then applications. We go out in the community. They shop, they make grocery lists, they go to job sites, they go to volunteer sites, and we don't always get to walk here. We need wheels. We need to put our mission into motion. And so thank you to the Catholic Foundation and Mark and Fred, if y'all are here, thank you all for coming to the site visit. You ensure that our 22 teachers and about 100 students deploy every day safely and across the community. We have 82 zip codes with 174 kids. So It's important to us. So thank you so much for working alongside us and continuing to help us be mission in motion. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church.
Good morning. My name is Father Giuseppe Espoto. I am the pastoral administrator at Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I've been in the parish since last July, and Our Lady of Perpetual Help was founded in 1942, so it's one of the oldest parish in Dallas. It's in the core of Dallas, right next to Norfolk Airport. And we don't only serve the people that live in the area, but we also have a school with 170 kids. Also, we have 3 hospitals close by the parish. And also, the church has the mission to welcome some of the Catholics that comes into town, because having the airport close by, a lot of people that stays for a few days in Dallas comes to our parish. So Our Lady of Perpetual Help was founded in 42. The first building burned down, and then it was rebuilt in the 60s. And actually this grant will help us to fix some of the major problems that the structure of the church has, and will help us to keep the church standing for the safety of the parishioners. I will continue to accomplish our mission. So we, in the name of the church, the staff, myself, the parishioners, we are really grateful for Catholic Foundation for what has done for us in the present, in the past, and for all the help and support that Catholic Foundation has given to us. Thank you so much.
Our next grant recipient is Regina Celli Academy.
Good morning and thank you. My name is Nicole Chiva and I'm the Executive Director for Regina Celli Academy. It is both a great honor and privilege to be among all these wonderful organizations who share the same goals of Regina Celli Academy. Regina Celli is a nationally accredited pre-K through 12 classical homeschool hybrid for Catholic families. Our hybrid model consists of meeting in person twice a week and providing lesson plans and curriculum for families at home the other 3 days a week. We have 2 locations here in Dallas, and they're thriving. We currently serve over 100 families with over 300 students across our campuses. They're for families who are finding that the hybrid model is a perfect combination of both at-home and in-person education. As we meet in community only twice a week, it is very important to make effective and efficient use of our time. One way that we accomplish this is by hiring high-quality teachers for our students. In our upper-level science classes, our students are being taught by engineers, biologists, chemists, and pharmacists. But even with the very best teachers, without sufficient supplies, we cannot maximize our limited time. Microscopes, circuit kits, and dissection materials. Many of us know from our own experience that the ability to use these tools help us discern our own paths of study later in life. The Catholic Foundation has provided us with the generous gift to purchase lab equipment for our science students which will allow us to acquire many of these necessary items before the next academic year. While it is the equivalent of 2 upper school tuitions, it will have far more impact than only on 2 students. One day, one of our graduates may very well be delivering our children on a mission to space or finding a cure to a disease, and this could very well be due to the opportunity that the Catholic Foundation has provided to us. Thank you very much for this blessing.
Our next grant recipient is Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ Catholic Parish.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Min. I am the chairman of Pastoral Council at Sacred Heart of Jesus, Lebanese Parish in Carrollton. And to my right is my pastor, Anthony Green, and with the secretary, a member of building committee, and our business manager, Cecilia Catholic. First, we have to please God to bless us with good health, peace, joy, and grace to receive a grant from the Catholic Foundation. On behalf of our pastor, Anthony and Father Thomas Holder, and all parishioners at Sacred Heart of Jesus Lebanese Parish in Carrollton, we would like to thank and give our deep appreciation to Matt, Tom, and all the members of the Catholic Foundation Board, Justin, and all the donors and benefactors who supported the Catholic Foundation so we can receive this grant. We will use this grant to build our new church. We borrowed from the bank about $5 million, along with our capital from the campaign foundation over $5 million. And along with this grant, we can build our new church, estimated around $11 million. We thank and appreciate this support for blessing the first order of our new church on January 28, 2023. Our parish was established in 1999. At that time, we had approximately about 200 families. We purchased the Old Baptist building, January in 1960, to hold about 350 people. Today, we have about 700 families, over 2,000 parishioners. On Saturday, we have long evenings and 3 masses on Sunday. For the mass on Sunday, we have a full church and about 300 people total in the lobby, in the hall, and the Holy Family room. They have to listen to the speaker and watch the mass with the projectors. We really appreciate and thank you, the Catholic Foundation, all donors and benefactors for this grant, so we can build up the new church to have more room for all parishioners and guests to join us inside the church and pray together. May God bless the Catholic Foundation, our board of boards, trustees, staff, and all donors and benefactors with good health, peace, and joy. Thank you, and God bless.
Our next grant recipient is St. Mark Catholic School.
What a joy, isn't this? This is just so awesome to be able to hear all the different activities and things that are happening in our Catholic institutions and within our diocese. And as a friend of the Catholic Foundation, it's just a wonderful blessing to be able to receive this gift. I like how Chris Rebuck said at the very beginning when he received his grant that this is
this is all the blessing that people who were thinking about the future and how their gift continues to give to us. So St. Mark obviously is a wonderful school led by our principal, Pam, and I just want to illustrate a couple of things about St. Mark. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary today, or this year. So we started in 1982, and we've been around for 40 years. We have 520 students, more or less. We all know how that goes throughout the year, right? So, and one of the things that we talk about is that St. Mark is where faith and knowledge meet. And as Catholic educators, you know that we work really hard to educate and form the mind, but also the soul of the student. But there's also a body involved as well, right? And so we are in need to help with some of our things that will allow our students to have a better place to exercise. Particularly, we're going to be receiving a grant for our bleachers. Our bleachers in our gym, obviously where our community gathers, our youth gather, is not the most safe, would be the best way to put it. Okay, so when Ann and Royce and John and Elsa came out, we were able to highlight how it's very antiquated and would not pass very many policies. So we're going to change those and make them safe and make them a place where our community can gather, our students can exercise, can do the sports, and our families can celebrate that as well. So on behalf of St. Mark Catholic School and Parish, I thank the Catholic Foundation for this wonderful grant.
Our next grant recipient is St. Mary Carmel Catholic School with partial funding from the William and Mary Jane Jasperson Fund.
My name is Caitlin Aguilar, and I'm the principal at St. Mary Carmel Catholic School in West Dallas, and we're so grateful to be here celebrating the work of all of our missions and the generosity of the Catholic Foundation and all its benefactors. At St. Mary Carmel, our mission is to serve our students by providing a quality Catholic education in a safe and nurturing environment. And as you all know, safe and nurturing environment took on a whole different definition several years ago with COVID. For us, we are really grateful this year to return our focus to providing that safe and nurturing environment by providing a classroom environment that speaks to the value of our students and their potential as scholars. Unfortunately for us, in an aging building with limited budget, we are often plugging holes and worried about the facilities problems that have arisen, and something that has been woefully overlooked and ignored for a long time is our furniture. And as the students who are helping on our site visit shared, there have been several incidences of broken tables during classes this year, or our kindergarten literacy round table for the teacher had a book underneath, keeping it level when we were visiting. And so we're really grateful for the Catholic Foundation to provide this grant so that we can fulfill our mission of providing a safe environment for our students, but also the opportunity to catch our environment up to the academic standards that we hold for our students, allowing for the flexibility that our blended learning academic program provides. So thank you very much for your support and continuous love for and care for our students. We're very grateful.
Our next grant recipient is St. Monica Catholic School.
Father Guadagnoli from St. Monica Catholic School, Catholic Parish, and as we know, St. Monica prayed for her son, St. Augustine, so that he would come to know, to love, and to serve our Lord. To get to know him, to be baptized, And you know what happened to St. Augustine? He became a saint. And so she wanted to protect him from all the wiles and snares of the devil. And so this grant that is so generously provided by the Catholic Foundation is going to help us to do what we do best, that is really to evangelize and to help our students go on to study, learn, and play, and do all those things that they want to do in the safety and security of our campus. Because this grant is going to help us with the purchase of cameras, security cameras. There's over 700 students. I was talking to Debbie and I said, I'm getting 700 cameras? I said, no, nothing new. But it's really going to help us to do what we do best. And so I just want to say on behalf of St. Monica Catholic School and Parish, thank you so much to the Catholic Foundation, its trustees, and we're so grateful for this special gift. Thank you.
Our next grant recipient is St. Patrick Catholic School.
Good morning, my name is Julie Hendry and I am principal at St. Patrick School. With me is Isabel Fraga, one of our assistant principals, and Mike Hill, our director of operations for our parish. St. Patrick is in the Lake Highlands area of Dallas. We serve around 420 students, give or take, this time of year, and we strive for academic excellence at St. Patrick. We have a dynamic service learning program based on Catholic social teachings for the entire school. We have a robust student services program, and we study restorative practices built around virtual literacy. Our mission is that we are called to embrace the gospel and transform the hearts and minds of our St. Patrick community. And community is really at the core of this grant. Our auditorium is the hub of our community. It serves for numerous school activities all day, every day. In the evening, it's the place where the parish gathers. The youth ministry has all of their meetings there. On the weekends, it's used. It's truly the most used space at our campus, and it is the source of our community. In fact, the parish is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, and next year the school will be able to celebrate its 60th anniversary. And 60 years ago, the auditorium was the sanctuary, and it has some of its original fixtures. So it's with a lot of gratitude that we thank the Catholic Foundation for their generous support as we look to refurbish, renovate this hub of our community for the next 60 years. Thank you very much.
Our next grant recipient is St. Paul the Apostle Catholic Church.
Good morning. My name is Father John Sekowski. I'm the pastor of St. Paul the Apostle Catholic Church and Catholic Classical School. St. Paul was founded in 1956. Hard to believe that was kind of part of the northern frontier of the diocese at the time, the Richardson Heights area. Our current church was built in 1988, which, if you think about church architecture from that era, maybe wasn't exactly the best. So beauty is so important for who we are as a Christian people, right? Beauty leads us to truth. And so I've been working on what I call the Encountering Truth Through Beauty campaign. And so we've had many beautification initiatives on the exterior of the church, and now we're turning our focus to the interior of the church. Certainly everything about what we hear and see and experience within the church and the celebration of the Holy Mass should accomplish the end of the Mass, right? The glorification or the glorifying of God and allowing God then to make us holy. So aesthetics and beauty are such an important part of this. As we encounter, as we say, the smells and bells of Mass that draw us in to the Holy Liturgy. The bells ringing, the incense, all these things that play to our senses that lead us to encounter beauty, which of course leads us to the truth of God.